What's up, gamers, and welcome back to the HitPoint Weekly. I am Donnie Kane. I'm joined by the wonderful Brandon. What's up, Brandon?
Dude, not much. So we are here to talk video games. It's been a little while. We missed a couple episodes. So I'm gonna blame Donnie for that, even though it was my fault. But
it's been a hot minute.
It has been. But we've got some topics for you. We're here to shoot the shit and talk the games and do the news. So Donnie, what have we got on the agenda today?
Well, Mr. Brandon, we got a little bit of a Witcher trailer we've been waiting on, didn't we?
Dude, we did. And I don't think I have been. Game of Thrones is when I was last this excited, but I don't think I've been this excited since Game of Thrones utterly let me down. And I'm very much looking forward to this letting me down.
So the last season of The Witcher is going to be terrible.
Dude, I really hope not. I really, really hope it's good. The trailer is promising. Have you seen the trailer at all? I'm going to include the trailer in this video just to
don't get us strikes, dude.
Dude, we're going to get strikes. Also, if you guys notice, the editing is a little bit weird in this video. We're trying something a little bit different. So this one might be a little rough editing wise, but
if it's bad, we'll switch back.
Yeah, well, maybe. It depends on how bad, because it's going to be worse.
Firebrand 2019.
All right, so let's talk about The Witcher. Have you watched the trailer, Donnie?
I have seen the trailer.
And what did you think?
I thought it looks pretty good. I wasn't sold on Henry Cavill at first. I definitely am more so now. Some of the casting choices a little weird to me. What are your first impressions?
So I don't know if you remember when the very first pictures of Henry Cavill, it's always been Henry Cavill.
Something.
Henry something. The original pictures that they released of him as Geralt were awful. I'll throw one up just to haunt people's dreams.
Yeah, they were kind of bad.
And so I had very, very low expectations. This trailer that came out of Comic-Con has me straight up excited. I think it looks better than I thought it would look. It looks like there's more of a budget behind it than I thought Netflix would give.
Netflix got a couple $1 billion, dude.
They got the money, but when I think they've got a couple shows that are known for being their high bar shows, right? But for the most part, when I think Netflix shows, I think of all the straight to Netflix movies, the shows that didn't make it. Netflix has made a lot of garbage,
I mean, also on the other hand, even when Netflix does make and have a big show, they're not really even that high production value.
No.
Even though they're a multi-million-dollar company for sure. What is Netflix? Somebody look up what Netflix is worth. Netflix market value drops $26 billion in a week. That still doesn't tell me.
Okay,
that's a lot of money, though.
If Netflix can drop $26 billion, it means they were worth at least $26 billion. So they got money.
Yeah. You want to know what the sentence in full is? A week after releasing a bleak second quarter earnings report, the company's shares are down nearly 20%, a loss of $26 billion.
Okay.
20% of their market share is $26 billion.
So they're still worth $100 billion. So
yeah, that's kind of nuts.
Yeah, they got
anyways,
money.
Netflix has got that cash. But as I was saying a second ago, even their more high production shows, I don't know, Riverdale is pretty popular right now. They made that Sabrina show.
Stranger
in my
Things.
opinion, Stranger Things is a bit of a different vein. I feel like that's pretty high caliber, but
well, even that, you look at season 1 versus season 3, they're definitely pumping more money into it now that it's popular. So
yeah, but Riverdale and Sabrina, in my understanding at least, pretty well for them. I guess Netflix doesn't really release that, so there's no way of really knowing how many streams, right? It's not like the movie theaters where you have specific ticket sales, right? They can tell you how many people streamed it, but then again, is that a whole family? Is that 5 people? Is that one person? Did one person really like Riverdale and watch it 26,000 times? You know what I mean?
I mean, someone did. Someone has.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get really distracted here, but did you ever hear about that woman in the UK somewhere who watched the B movie 367 times in a year?
That's too many times. I've named my bomb.
She watched the B movie. I don't know about the exact number. I think it was just pretty much every day for a year. And Netflix literally reached out to her and was like, hey,
Please don't.
You good? No, they're just like, hey, you good? And it turns out, actually, funny story, her baby was like really unhappy or something. And the B movie, I guess Jerry Seinfeld's soothing voice was the only thing that kept calmed her baby down. But we are extremely sidetracked.
All right, so back
Riverdale. The point I was started with here, Riverdale and Sabrina, even though they're pretty, in my opinion, like pretty popular shows for Netflix. At least I remember when Riverdale first came out, almost everyone was talking about it. I feel like they still don't pour that much money behind it.
No. Well,
but
yeah.
Maybe The Witcher, though, the initial budget might have been a little lower. I'm just speculating here, but maybe they saw initial reactions and they're like, let's give that some cash money after they saw how excited people were for it.
I really hope that, so like some of the stuff I've read is like they want this to be the next Game of Thrones, just like Amazon wants their Lord of the Rings show to be the next Game of Thrones. And I wonder if they just pumped a shitload of money into it just because of that. They're trying to fill that void. They know fans are unhappy with how Game of Thrones ended, so they're just like really trying to.
I am ready for some high caliber Witcher.
Dude, me too. And so it's going to be following the books, not the games. If you are,
his silver sword is on the horse.
Is on Roach, yeah. If you're one of those people, he straight up said it is, or somebody from them did. But yeah, so if you're not aware, The Witcher is based off of a series of books by, I can never pronounce his name, something
by
Sapochnik.
A douchebag.
Yeah, he's kind of he's had some words with video games that I don't agree with, that I doubt anybody listening to this podcast would agree with, but he made a good story. And I hope that the TV version of that story is really good.
Yep. And hopefully they got some big names behind it.
Yeah, I think it could turn out really great, and I'm just looking for something to fill that void in my soul. And,
but it could also be kind of bad.
It could go really bad, but the stuff I've seen so far has me hopeful.
Yeah, no, that trailer was awesome. Some of the casting is maybe a little weird to me. I don't know. I just saw Yen as not a hunchback.
So that's from the book. So I don't know if you watched the trailer. You see her after she transforms like into the Yen we know later on.
Right.
It like when in the majority of the trailer, it's like disfigured Yennefer because she was born disfigured. She had a rough childhood. It's a whole thing. But towards maybe the midway in the trailer, 2/3 of the way through the trailer, you see her like her transformed version walking out, and I'm like, that looks like a young Yennefer. I'm game. That looks.
Yeah, but now I want my thought Yennefer,
dude.
Thoughtifer.
I don't know where to go from this.
Also, Triss is supposed to have like fire red hair, but who knows?
Not in the books.
If you nitpick very many things all the time, you're never going to enjoy anything. I mean, Game of Thrones has some parallels that can be drawn with the discrepancies between the books and the show that people weren't too happy with.
What are you trying to say,
we're just
Donnie?
Unhappy with the entire show. So.
Right. No. Yeah, I think that if people are looking for this to be 1-to-1 to the games, they're going to be sorely disappointed because, again, the games take place after the books, or even the books. Yeah, that's true. Although the writer of the books has come out and said that he is very happy with how well they are sticking to his source material. So
wonderful.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm just going to leave this picture of Henry Cavill being a beefcake with you guys, and we can move on to another topic.
He's kind of a hottie.
Dude, would smash. Not gay, would smash.
Little gay, would smash.
Dude, we're all a little gay. All right, moving on. Donnie, have you heard about Garfield Kart?
So I think you mean Super Garfield Kart.
Dude. That's what I'm talking about. So is this not the same Garfield Kart that's in early access on Steam? Is this like a totally new thing?
So little backstory. Ethan, I don't know if anyone here will remember Violent Road. Brandon, Ethan, and I all played it was for, what was it, like $1.49 or something on Steam a couple months ago.
Yeah, it was on sale for like $1, and
I was like, guys, this looks amazing. Everybody buy Garfield Kart, and we're playing it. So it turns out it's kind of bad.
nah, it's great.
But it's also so good.
It's not bad, it's broken.
The weirdest thing is, first of all, it's just a straight up shameless port from a mobile game.
Dude.
Like, it literally says like touch the screen here to continue, and like tap here to continue, and there's some microtransactions, and straight up port of a mobile game. And so, but the weirdest part was, you remember how we had to download like the officially unofficial weird,
install like a beta version of it.
You had to install a weird beta that from my understanding the community developed, and the developer was just kind of like, yeah, we'll let you put it on Steam to even multiplayer the Garfield Kart. And so you're playing with everyone. It's really weird. So you have to try to the lobbies aren't like guaranteed. You have to kind of just like try to find each other and like join random lobbies and leave, and it's a hell of a time. But for the like 2 races we actually got through together, I did have quite a load of fun in it. It's just Garfield. Anyways, that whole backstory. So I think my understanding is, because it's only on Steam, and I would assume mobile, maybe not even on. But I think it's just getting a proper console release, and it's in early access on Steam. That's the thing. So I think it's just getting a full actual Steam, PS4, Xbox.
So I'm gonna
release and Switch.
Cut you off for a second. I've only seen Switch, PS4, and Xbox. I've not seen any mention of PC.
Huh.
Yeah, that's why I was like, is this the same one or is it not? Because it's technically already out on PC, but like, I don't know if it's the same game or if they're doing a new Garfield Kart, a better Garfield Kart.
There's no way. It's definitely just an upgrade.
You think so?
I think it's just an upgrade and a port.
Dude, part of me really hopes so, because
Garfield Kart Furious Racing.
What have you
Garfield
got for us?
Kart is coming. So Final Weapon tells me Garfield Kart is coming to consoles the same week as Death Stranding. So Death Stranding, some heavy hitter competition there.
No, Death Stranding's fucked. It doesn't stand a chance against Garfield.
No one's buying Death Stranding. Oh no, someone says sequel. Why is no one talking about the Garfield Kart getting a sequel this fall? I think it's a new game. Are we getting a Garfield Kart sequel?
Dude,
that
PS4.
we all deserve?
Or are we getting it on
no,
Switch?
we're buying it on Switch,
All
dude.
right.
That's a Switch buy for me. Yeah, because the graphics, I mean, the graphics weren't great in the first place, but they look kind of upgraded. And like different. I don't know. Maybe we just haven't played in a while, but it looks different to me.
The pictures I saw definitely looked better, but I didn't know if it was because it was such a work in progress on PC or what was going on. But
currently on Amazon for $30.
Dude, that's
I'm
not
paying
$1.49.
$30 to play Garfield Kart.
Dude,
No,
if it
Garfield
works,
Kart PC Gamer, July 30th. Garfield Kart Fierce Racing is purring onto PC this November. It's all 3. It's all 4.
okay, that's good. That's good to hear, because I was going to be real concerned if Garfield Kart wasn't making it to the
Garfield
master
Kart
race.
Furious Racing. When's Death Stranding coming out? Late November, mid November.
Dude, Kojima.
Anyways,
you picked the wrong month to
yeah,
release, dude.
watch out, Hideo Kojima. Garfield Kart is coming for you. November 5th, Garfield Kart Furious Racing. Let's go. So that's a thing.
Yeah.
Moving on. How about some gambling for children?
All right, Donnie, me and you have talked about this a little bit. I want you to explain to the people your very unpopular opinion that I also kind of agree with. Ready? On the
hold
spot.
on. Let's give them the facts first.
Okay. All right.
GTA Online, very popular game with a lot of people. Suppose what was they were touting earlier this year? Like literally the biggest entertainment moneymaker ever, like past $1 billion. Like
yeah, something like that. They were
GTA
comparing
5.
it to like.
If you haven't heard of GTA 5, I don't know how you've even accessed the internet. So,
Yeah.
So GTA Online this week had their first big update. in a while, I would say. I don't know, they keep doing like new races and stuff, but they haven't really added anything. And the first time since launch in 2013 that they changed the skyline of Los Santos, right? Like it's a huge building, so they added a casino, a fully fledged casino into GTA Online, and you take your GTA bucks or whatever, you convert them into chips, and you gamble with those. Now, the problem that people are seeing with that is that kids play the game, and like, there's always the loot box controversies. There always has been, which I also think is kind of dumb. Just don't spend money on loot boxes if you don't like loot boxes.
You better be careful. I got shit on Reddit for being like, I actually don't mind loot boxes, especially in games like Overwatch, and I got downvoted into oblivion, dude.
It's okay, buddy. 9 people are gonna listen.
Dude, true, but be careful, man.
Yeah, so fire. I don't know, just don't buy a loot box. So anyways, so that's like, this is almost one step further than loot boxes, because this is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is just straight up gambling. Like there is no skirting around it. This is just straight gambling.
Can you convert the chips back into real money? Can you convert your winnings in the casino?
No, you can't. I mean, so in a way, you could make money off of this, because you can convert it back into Rockstar Bucks, right? So you could buy, let's say you buy the gold plane, which is worth $100 US. You sell that on eBay, but that's completely against Rockstar's terms of service. And I actually don't even know if you can sell in-game items to other people. Like, can you transfer items? Do you have any idea?
I was going to say, that's news to me. If that's a thing, that's...
Okay, I have no idea.
You could probably sell your account, though.
Right, if it even is a thing, that would 100% be against Rockstar's terms of service, like selling in-game life terms of service ever. So that's one problem with the arguments I see. Like, it's gambling, sure, but you can't actually make profit off of it. Like, you're just having fun. It's just fun. I mean, I'm sure somebody will take it too far, but it is just meant to be fun.
Right.
Also, like, people are like, it's gambling for children. It's gambling for children. This game is rated M for mature. What children? I mean, I get it. Everyone is playing this game. There are children playing this game, but they shouldn't be.
Let me just start by saying, like, I played the shit out of rated M games as a kid.
Right.
It turned out all right-ish, I think. But at the same time, you don't hold a movie that's rated R like to a standard, to this, you don't hold it to the PG-13 standard because kids might see it. It's rated R. You hold it to that standard.
The movie made itself. The director made that movie knowing it was going to be rated, knowing it's going to be seen supposedly only by adults. The choices that the parents make to let the kids see that movie in the end is all parents' choice, and that's fine if they are okay with their child seeing that movie. However, the game is rated mature is 17 plus, right? Is that what it's supposed to be?
I think so, something like that. 17,
so
18,
you could make the argument. I mean, 17 isn't legal, but whatever. So kids shouldn't be playing the game. So if your problem starts with the gambling of GTA Online, hello prostitutes, hello murder, hello Grand Theft Auto.
Right, it's in the goddamn name.
Like, I don't know, like, there's just so many you're low on money, but you want to have sex, so you hire a prostitute and then you fucking kill her in the back lane after you're done with her, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, we've all done that, Donnie.
Everybody does that. We're still talking about GTA, right?
Yeah, we are. Yeah. But no, I think
so. I'm gonna move on.
I think that's a great point. And you look at like gambling laws, and like that's one thing that's come up. People have been like, some people, I guess, in certain countries haven't been able to access the casino because of their country's gambling laws, right?
Right. I mean, it's illegal in Texas. That's very close to home for both of us. You can't gamble in Texas.
You can't gamble in Utah outside of reservation, I think.
That's a fun fact. Thank you.
So
it's
like
completely legal in Canada, but
if they wanted to, if the government wanted to, they could crack down and be like, you can only play gambling in games in places where gambling is legal and at ages that are legal. In theory, everybody should have their real age on their Xbox account or their Steam account or whatever. It knows what state you're from, so like if they want to like play by the law, they can do their best to play by the letter of the law. And if people slip through, I don't necessarily think that's Rockstar's fault. I think that's parents.
That's just being illegal.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just a legal activity. I don't know. Like, people are all up in arms about this, but it's not meant for kids. It is an M-rated game. It's not, kids are playing it. I get it. Kids are not supposed to be playing the game. So the argument that it's gambling for kids is ridiculous. And also, you can't make a profit off it. I think those two things put together, just why is it a bad thing?
Well, and if you're going to go after GTA for having like gambling in it, you have to go after every single other game that has legitimate gambling in it, right? There's plenty of them out there.
There's literally online casinos. You can literally play poker online right now.
There's nothing stopping a kid from grabbing his parents' credit card, hopping on there, and
nope.
So,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know. Loot boxes, I get that, like, there can be pay to win aspects of loot boxes, which I don't like. When in those cases, you should.
Who remembers Battlefront 2?
Battlefront 2 is great these days.
I said, who remembers the launch of Battlefront 2? I didn't say the launch, but it was kind of
even that. Wasn't that just skins? I'm pretty sure that was just skins. People were just pissed.
I thought it was more or less pay to win.
No, I think they were just really pissed off that they couldn't get their cool Vader skin without, like, or something along those lines. Or maybe it was the heroes. So I guess that is kind of pay to win if, like, the heroes are like more OP than.
From my understanding, it was like, like these heroes you can grind for 80, 90 hours to unlock, pay a couple bucks to get it. So
yeah.
We are very off topic. So GTA, I don't know. I think so here's a hot take. You ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready.
Rockstar is completely against loot boxes and completely against the ridiculousness of, like, how it is just gambling for children. And they're like, okay, if you're not going to ban loot boxes, here is literal gambling for children. And Rockstar is trying to bring attention to it and be like, hey, ban this.
Man, that would make them have to, like, admit that they were targeting kids, like, with sales of GTA, which I think could probably get them into legal trouble because of the rating of the game. Like, I don't think that's an actual thing. It's just a hot take. I've seen that theory thrown around once or twice, and every time I'm like, possibly, but, like, that opens up a whole other can of worms for the lawyers. Yeah.
If you watch the LTX WAN show, that's exactly where I ripped it from. Sorry, not sorry. But I was there. I had to close my eyes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think people need to calm down a little bit. There's this whole thing with games, and I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here. You ready to go on a tangent?
I'm ready.
So there's this whole thing with games where people get real pissed off about DLC. They get real pissed off about any sort of, like, microtransaction in a game. Donnie, do you remember when games used to be, like, between $70 and $100? I remember going into, like, my local Toys R Us and trying to buy an N64. Well, you live in Canada; those aren't real dollars.
Oh,
U.S. dollars is what I'm talking. Usually, games are $60 these days, right?
Right.
But I remember when I was a kid going in to buy N64 games and having them be like $80, $90, $100, $70.
Right.
Like, games are not as expensive as people act like they are. Like, they're still expensive, don't get me wrong. $60 is a good chunk of change for any young kid or whatever, but, like, games have not increased in price with the times.
However, okay, not only has $60 become, so let's say they were always worth $60. Forget that they were worth $70, $90 at some point. They were always worth $60, right?
Right.
Not only has the US dollar, and coincidentally Canadian, but we'll pretend everyone's from the US. The US dollar, $60 has gotten worth less, right? Inflation has happened. The $60 is now worth less money.
True.
And also, games have gone from costing a couple $100,000, like a $1 million game was like a crazy event to happen, to hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars being sunk into the games industry every year. All these crazy big budget games are worth a couple $1 million each, and we're still only paying $60 for them. That's insane.
And I get that people want, like, good value for their money. I would argue, like, even games that come out, like, in a buggy state or broken, like, oftentimes, like, we are expecting perfection when that's just not reasonable with any piece of software, right?
Yeah, you go develop a perfect game.
Like, the value per dollar is insane these days in a lot of games. And I totally agree with you. Games are more expensive to make than ever. They're more complex than ever. And I don't know. I think we need to let developers experiment with different ways to make their money. And like, you've got people always point to CD Projekt Red. Not everybody can be CD Projekt Red.
Yep.
Not everybody has shareholders that are as understanding. Is CD Projekt Red privately owned? I don't know, but like a lot of these studios, they have like shareholders they have to appease, and like if you
no, it's not just the fans. They're appeasing people who don't even play video games at the top of the corporate chain.
Exactly. And it's like, at the end of the day, like, people get mad when developers start turning towards mobile. They're turning towards mobile because games are cheaper to make there, and they make a killing off of a popular mobile game.
Well, that's mass market audience, right? Everyone has a cell phone
exactly
nowadays.
If people want games,
you're selling. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, if people want games to continue to be a thing on consoles and PC 10 years down the road, like, I'm sure no matter what happens, there's always going to be some market for the enthusiasts, because the enthusiasts are going to make games. The passionate people are going to make games and whatnot. But I potentially see a future where 10, 15 years down the road, the big AAA games are getting released on your phone, not your console of choice or your PC.
The PlayStation 4 and the Xbox all have 25 to 65-ish million, and same with the Switch in there somewhere. Just like, that's 66. I think the PlayStation is pushing 100 mil now. Anyways, the PS4, the most popular one, 100 million people is like a negligible percentage of the world. Whereas how many cell phones do you think?
Billions.
Like, that's just an not untapped, obviously, but that's just an unfathomable market for if you're a games developer, you're trying to get to the most people possible. Cell phones.
Right. And just think about when a game developer finally like kills it. They make the perfect mobile game, like a game that appeals to the casual audience as well as the like very goddamn, why can I not think of the word? The enthusiast market as well. Like, when they make that game, like, imagine like Pokemon Go, but like good and lasting. Like, do you remember how popular Pokemon Go was? Like, I think it just passed 1 billion downloads or something.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, it's been downloaded more than 1 billion times, which is nuts. Like, that's just an example of like how wide reaching the mobile market could be if someone made that killer game.
Right. I honestly think it's just missing the killer app, and phones and stuff getting a little bit better. And like I say, I don't like the future that I see, but I do see that being like a potential future. Like, it is what it is. But I think we've gotten way off topic. I think we pissed off enough people for today with that. You want to move on to something else?
Yeah, just I don't know. Let's shoot through a few quick things here before we touch on our next big topic.
Is our next big one Nintendo, or is our next big one bathwater? Because I want to do the other one. Whatever one you weren't going to do, let's do that. Okay.
Nintendo, then take it away.
All right. So there's some controversy here with JoyCons, Donnie. I don't know if you've heard about this. Basically,
don't you? I don't know if you heard about this. We argued about this last night.
So Donnie, why don't you tell the people what's been going on? Because you seem to be very passionate.
Nintendo shipped broken Joy-Cons and knew about it, and now they're getting sued. There's a class action lawsuit going on, and they're now offering to fix them for free. It's obviously a very large problem that they knew about. If now they're like, haha, just kidding, we'll fix them for free. The Joy-Cons are drifting. This is Driftgate. You have bad opinions. Go.
So, no, Donnie, I completely agree with you that, especially like if there's, I don't think that like Joy-Cons are inherently like broken. I don't think that they like, there could be a flaw in the design or whatever, but I don't think like every single Joy-Con out there is drifting and broken and a piece of trash. I think that there's
Go ahead. Hyperbole, my friend.
So from the numbers I've seen, most people have not experienced JoyCon Drift. Like just from some of the, and it's completely anecdotal, like
20% of 25 million is still 5 million people.
Right. But then I have to ask, did those 25% on some of those surveys we've seen, because that's about the rough number I've seen on the surveys, like, have you experienced JoyCon Drift? Of those people, how many of those people started experiencing that issue like after they'd beaten the shit out of their Switch for a year and a half? And how many of them experienced it like normal wear and tear over the course of like the first couple months?
So I bought the Switch at launch less than a week after it came out. My first ones were drifting. My first pair of Joy-Cons. I, as you suggested, just buy a second pair when it starts happening. I bought a second pair. Like a couple months after I got tired of it, I bought a second pair. Those ones didn't even work right out of the box. I've now bought 2 pairs of controllers from Nintendo. I didn't feel like I really liked them. They're limited edition color, so I'm not returning them because I'm not going to get them back. I bought a Pro controller. Now I bought the Switch, so that's one. I've bought a second set of Joy-Cons, and I've bought a third controller from Nintendo because they shipped a broken product. Is that right?
So in your case, like, especially where like you had 2 pairs of controllers that came out of the box just basically broken, right? In your case, I would say they owe you some new damn controllers.
It's not broken. It's not unusable. I think both sides of this are like exaggerated. The drift isn't. The only time I noticed it was in Mario Odyssey, because you have to be quite specific with your landing and your jumping and your moving. So you'll try to stop and your guy will run off a ledge, or you'll try to run off a ledge and your guy won't be moving. So it's more the former, though. Drifting by definition is more, I'll try to stop moving and my guy will just keep running. So
right. Basically, it doesn't center properly. It doesn't rest the center.
Yeah. So I bought the Switch in March when it came out in 2017, and then I would have bought Odyssey in October, and that's when I finally got tired of it. So I used it completely usable. I didn't care from March until October. And then Mario Odyssey is what annoyed me into buying another set of controllers, which were the worst out of the box. Like, I couldn't even, it's almost as if there was no neutral position on the Joy-Con. Super annoying. And then I bought the Pro controller, so I've now given Nintendo. Those controllers aren't cheap, man. They're like $90
No,
each.
And that's another thing, is the Nintendo controllers are like priced way above anybody else in the game. Like, the only one that comes close is like VR controllers, like an Oculus Touch. A single one, not a set, not 2, one costs $70.
Right.
So to buy both of them is $140, which is ridiculous. It's insane.
I love when we talk about prices, because I'm talking Canadian
and I'm talking. Yeah, it's fine. They're at ballparks within each other most of the time, kind of, sort of.
Once you start to get up there, not really. Like, right. 140 is going to be quite a big difference. But anyways, but like Nintendo controllers actually do, and it's the same with the Oculus talking about, they actually do have a cool bit of tech in them, and Nintendo with NFC and HD ROM. But I don't want to get into the tech behind Nintendo controllers.
But at the same time, a pair of Joy-Cons is not even comparable to like an Xbox Elite controller, which
right. But that costs like $200.
How much is a set of Joy-Cons?
I think 90. I think in Canada 90 fresh.
Okay, I want to say they're like 70. But okay, yeah, those aren't even comparable then, because I think in the US Elite controllers like 150. But
yeah. Moving on.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, for me personally, my Switch unaffected. Right, I've been playing it and using it for months. Have not once noticed an issue with drift. Right.
So you're part of the 75%. That's fine.
Exactly. And so, like, if a year from now my controller starts drifting, I'm not going to blame that on like some mechanical fault with Nintendo. I'm going to blame it on, I throw my Switch in my bag, it gets beat to hell, and I've had it for a couple of years. Right. I think there's a difference there. And I think that, again, like, if you are within, especially like, I would say a year is a pretty standard like warranty period. Right.
Right.
I would say if you experience this issue within that year, you are absolutely entitled to a pair of brand new controllers on Nintendo, right? But what I've seen,
that's not where the especially the class action lawsuit is. That's not where it's coming from. It's coming from at launch, people opened their Switch and it
had
was
problems.
very unusable, and they complained, and Nintendo tried to charge them money to replace their controller.
Right. And again, I think that in that case, Nintendo should have ponied up and they should have got new controllers. Like, I get that. The other thing, but what I'm saying is, like, on the, like you said earlier, there's a lot of like very exaggeration on both ends of this argument going on, right? I've also seen a lot of people who are like, yeah, my Switch that I got day one, my controller's starting to drift. And it's like, dude, you've had that Switch
for nearly 3 years.
For nearly 3 years. Like, I've never had a controller last that long with heavy use. Like,
right,
its time has come. Like, you're not part of the problem. Like,
it's time to die.
It's time for you to buy a new pair of Joy-Cons. And that's what I'm saying is I think that this is a more complex issue than like every single controller that ever breaks is all Nintendo's fault. And they fucked up, which they did. They fucked up. Let's be real. They fucked up.
Yep.
But like, you gotta set those expectations and like be reasonable about it. Like Donnie, I didn't realize you bought 2 broken pairs of Joy-Cons within like the first 6 months. I'm sorry, dude. You should have 2 working pairs of Joy-Cons.
So, Android on the Nintendo Switch.
Dude, Android on the Nintendo Switch. Tell us about it, Donnie.
I don't know. I think it's a 8.1. What is actual Android at? Is it still 8.1-ish?
I think
that's Oreo, right?
I think 9.0 is out. I'm pretty sure.
So we've moved on. So anyways, some hacker boys have gotten I guess it's more homebrew. I don't know if they really like the term hacking, but it's hacking the Switch.
They love the term hacking. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
They're hackers, dude.
Moving on. So they've gotten Android 8.1, which is Oreo, Kit Kat, something. Anyways, they've gotten Android running on the Switch, which then in theory you have access to everything Android offers you. And the coolest use I've seen, someone was playing The Witcher 3 through Steam in-home streaming. Which is great.
Were they doing it through the Steam in-home streaming, or were they doing it through, because there's another one that's called, I forget what it's called.
Someone just said, sorry, Steam is not right. You're correct. It's just, they just said in-home streaming, so I don't really.
There's this one, so, NVIDIA's got their, like, streaming to, like, the shields and stuff.
Sure.
And whatever the GeForce version of, like, in-home streaming is, there's a third-party app that hooks into that API and like does the NVIDIA one.
Right, okay.
And so I was wondering if it was that. Or if they just got their Joy-Cons working, which if they did, that's cool as hell.
Yeah, so they're not waiting for Nintendo Switch playing here and now.
Sorry, say that one more time. You cut out pretty fierce.
I said yeah, so they're just not waiting for The Witcher Nintendo Switch. They're playing it here and now.
Dude. I can't blame them. I would love to kick back with my Switch and play some Witcher,
Right, but however, how quickly and does Nintendo shut this down? Because in theory, just off my one example there, The Witcher 3, that is cutting into their own profits. If somebody could hack their Switch and play The Witcher 3 through streaming means, if they already own it, they don't get that purchase.
Right. They can shut it down if they want to. They can. Well, I don't know if I've heard that there is an exploit on the Switch that is like allowing them to do these things that is not fixable, at least not in like the current state. I don't know if that is the same exploit that's being used in this situation or not.
Right.
But like theoretically, Nintendo could update the Switch, but like you can't retroactively update a product. So like any of them that have been cracked, if they didn't update anything like starting today, in theory there's not a whole lot Nintendo could do about it.
Right. But so I think it's kind of cool. It's always interesting to see what people can do. I don't know, not something I'm interested in doing. I think it's pretty cool.
So I'm kind of interested in doing it for one reason. and that is it. You don't actually mess with your like Switch OS, whatever that is, install. You run it completely off of an SD card.
There you go.
So you don't have to like mess with your like Switch at all. In theory, you're just running software off of an SD card. And if that is actually the case, I'm totally on board, dude. Just like have two different SD cards, one with all my Switch games on it and another one with my Android install, just ready to
There you
go.
go.
Dude.
It's just a really big, kind of outdated looking cell phone.
Dude, so I don't know if you remember Razer had
720p screen.
Do you remember that tablet that Razer came out with years ago? It was in like the NVIDIA 500 series days, so a long time ago.
Vaguely.
It was a tablet that had these two attachable controllers and you could play like PC games on it. I want that thing. I've wanted like that or like some version of that forever to do Steam and home streaming with. And like the Switch is the perfect candidate for that. Like I'm on board. I'm 110% on board.
He's ready.
I'm ready. But got anything else to add on Android on the Switch?
Nope, I do have to add on about Corsair buying Origin and becoming our supreme overlords.
So why don't you tell us about it, Donnie? For those who don't know, what is Origin PC?
Origin PC is a boutique PC builder. They ship you full systems, usually cooled, fully custom. They're one of the more expensive ones within the same space as, Alienware.
Right. Their initial claim to fame was this really cool PC that was, again, this is last gen consoles. They had this really cool PC that had an Xbox 360 built into it, so you could like have your 360 and your PC in the same chassis.
Well, they updated that recently, hey?
Yeah, but that was just a one-off thing as far as I know. Like, I don't think that's something you can actually buy.
Right. No, but they had the Switch, the Xbox, and the PS4 on one thing. That was kind of cool. But anyway, so Origin PC is just a boutique system seller. You spec out your system at a premium. They send you a PC, very expensive, very cool, fun. I don't know. I'm not going to shit on it. It's just time and a place. Obviously, there's enough of a market for it that they are in business. So is Alienware. So I mean, Alienware is bought by Dell, so that's a whole other thing. But iBuyPower, CyberPower, all those guys, they're all a thing. There's a market enough for it. I think it's more of a casual, like I just want a PC. I don't realize how easy it is to just build my own market, but I don't know, whatever.
Right. Well, the thing with Corsair is they've been buying up everybody. So they make like basically every component you can put in your computer other than like a processor and a graphics card.
Oh yeah, no, Corsair wants everything. They want your cooling, they want your RAM, they want everything, man.
Yeah, but also they've been getting into like they've been buying up a lot of like smaller, more niche companies. Like they own Elgato now. So like they bought Elgato. I'm pretty sure they bought Elgato. One second, let me make sure before I'm talking on my ass here.
Corsair is already my supreme overlord.
Elgato. Okay, yeah, I'm not crazy. They bought Elgato, so like they're just trying to get into every facet of like gaming, in my opinion, and this is just another avenue for them to do that. So,
well, I have right now sitting on my desk, I got Corsair mouse, keyboard. I got the cooler. My case. I don't know, man. They're into everything. Your cooling, your custom other cooling, your other type of cooling. I don't know.
They want to control your stream.
Yeah, apparently. So Corsair, our evil overlords. It's time to just accept it. I don't know. I wonder what I'm really curious about is what was Origin worth to Corsair? What are they worth to them?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen any figures. I can't imagine it being.
They're not public.
Yeah, I can't imagine that being like a huge amount. But
yeah, I don't know.
It was definitely in the millions, which isn't
Corsair obviously clearly wanted to get into the market. They clearly saw the opportunity. I wonder if Origin was struggling at all, and if this is a kind of a power buy. I don't know.
It could be.
Speaking of struggling divisions and power buys, our word from our Linus.
All right, dude.
From our sponsor.
This episode of the HitPoint Weekly is brought to you by Madrina's Coffee. Madrina's Coffee is a coffee.
I feel like we get in trouble pretending we have a sponsor.
Oh, dude, do we? This episode of HitPoint Weekly is definitely not brought to you by private internet access. Tunnel Bear. Squarespace. I'm done now. Sorry, guys. It's probably disorienting.
You forgot Dollar Shave Club, dude.
DollarShaveClub.com.
This episode of the HitPoint Weekly is brought to you by the cashies that I keep on my desk.
Dude, nice. All right, so let's roll into our next topic here, Donnie. Do we want to?
No, I actually had a good I actually had a good transition there.
Okay, let's hear it.
Hold on. Speaking of power buys of failing divisions of very powerful companies, Apple bought a piece of Intel this week. Help me out here. What did they buy?
Didn't they buy their 5G modem business?
Yes. So Apple, as a big old fuck you to Qualcomm, as everyone is kind of saying, you know about Qualcomm, the whole copyright infringement. They don't like each other very much. I mean,
to be fair, nobody in the cell phone space likes anybody else in the cell phone space. They all work with each other because they all need each other's parts, but they all hate each other and are constantly suing each other. So like this is
I mean, Apple and Qualcomm, like the lawsuit is over, but I feel like there's definitely some bitter rivalry there still. So Qualcomm is everyone's making the big push for 5G right now. Apple obviously thinking about it because they just bought a whole ass business for it. But so Qualcomm and Intel are more or less your choices there when you're going for 5G modems. And I think instead of deciding between the two or whatever, they just bought Intel's for a cool $1 billion.
To be fair, Intel, I think, was trying to get out of the game. So
yep, they were. It's been a struggling part of their business for a long time. But they were looking for $7 to $10 billion. And Apple was like, yeah, I'll give you one.
They took it. So...
Yeah, get that sinking ship out of the company. I mean, who knows? I mean, $1 billion also isn't a small amount, but that should be interesting to see what Apple does with the prowess behind an Intel company.
Yeah, for sure. Well done.
So what else do we got?
I think I've got one more topic before we get into our big topic here. I don't know if you've heard about this, Donnie, but France is trying to arm space.
The attack satellites.
Yeah, dude. But don't worry.
Do you even know what company that is? I straight up don't. And it's not in the doc.
Yeah, I have no idea. I just remember seeing some headlines of it, and I was like, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. Yes.
So, in case you haven't seen, France is some French company is launching satellites with guns and lasers attached to them to defend against something.
To defend against other satellites with guns and lasers, which as far as I know doesn't exist. Not that any of the governments would tell us if that was a thing, but
they're the only satellites with guns and lasers, so they're protecting us from themselves.
So like all I see is like Cold War 2.0. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if us or Russia or even Canada for that matter has guns up in space. Right. I was waiting for your reaction. But no, like, I don't know. It's just so ridiculous to me to be like, yep, we're going to arm our satellites. Look out, world.
So a couple more just quick things I wanted to touch on because I'm genuinely interested in them.
Yeah,
the Pixel 4 got announced. That's kind of cool. The whole like face gestures thing, which do you remember a couple? I can't even remember if it was weeks or months anymore. Time isn't real. Google was paying people $5 to let them scan their face on the street.
I do remember this, and not gonna lie, if Google approached me and was like $5 for your face, I'd be like, "You've already got it. Give me my $5."
You've already got it. So that would make sense, right? They have a face recognizing phone. So
something tells me that they're using that for other stuff too. Anybody who's like, "Oh, this is the sole purpose that they were collecting your face for."
Oh, no way. No way. Not a chance. But also like they have a part of their highlighted features was like you can swipe through like music and photos with gestures now. Hello, 2013 and the Galaxy S4 called.
To be fair, it worked like shit. And every phone that's tried like gestures, they've worked like shit. So
I had that phone and it wasn't good. I remember using the feature to show my mom. Never. What else do we got? So Pixel 4 announced. Probably, honestly, I'm switching to. I can't say this too loud. I'm probably going to switch to Android.
Why? Wait. This is news to me. Why? I thought you were an Apple
I've mentioned this before. I've said this before. I said Apple's got to announce something really good in September, or I'm off board. They're not genuinely interesting to me anymore.
Dude, hot take. Apple's never been genuinely interesting.
Apple literally forged the smartphone market forward, but okay.
They had the dumbest smartphone of its time. It was just pretty.
Created the market, but okay.
Dude, smartphones existed before then.
I'm not getting into this.
This is the part where I link that old video. Has Apple ever invented anything ever? I'm just trying to get her eyes out of Donnie, you guys. I'm not actually going to go down this rabbit hole.
Pixel 4, probably my next phone if it turns out to be as good as it looked.
Yeah, dude.
RTX Super was announced and came out within the span of like 2 weeks. So we got the 2060 Super, the 2070 Super, and the 2080 Super. The 2080 Ti did not get an update. And I don't know, it's just more cores, more or less free performance. It's actually outside of just we overclocked our old cards and are selling them for more. It's actually the same price as the old cards. And from my understanding, the old cards are more or less out of the product stack now.
Yeah, as far as I know, that's true. As far as I know, the 2060 is not, but the 2070 and the 2080 are both gone.
Right, but I mean, it's the same price and it's
more performance.
Literally, why not? Right? Like, so I don't know. It's kind of, a couple percentile of an upgrade. But imagine, like, I don't know, you're gonna buy a 2080 anyway, so now you get the 2080 Super, and it's 3% better than you were gonna get for the same amount of money. Whatever, right? I don't know. So they're kind of good, and I like there's like a really shiny chrome in between the two fans, and it says Super, and I like the look. I don't know.
I personally hate that logo. I think it is the dumbest logo in branding they've ever done.
Yeah, who knows though? I don't know. But I just like the shine. It's just shiny. Okay.
I just don't get why they didn't just do Ti again. Just do Ti.
Yeah, they could have come up with TI cards. That could have been fun.
And so like the 2060 and the 2070 Super, those are both like much more interesting than the 2080 because the 2080 Super is like barely a jump from the 2080 regular.
Yep.
The 2070 Super, as far as I know, is just a few percentage points below stock 2080. And the 2060 Super is based off of the 2070 and almost hits like old 2070 performance. So
right.
That's cool. 2080 is boring, but as someone who just bought a 2080, I'm a little ticked, but that's the tech industry for you. It moves quick.
Yep. You buy something new and the new thing is around. Doom, the original 3 Dooms, actually, 1, 2, and 3. I don't know why I felt the need to say that.
Dude, you got to list them all, otherwise it doesn't count.
Got a surprise launch on the Switch and Xbox, maybe PS4. I don't think PS4. Switch and Xbox earlier this week. They got... I don't know. It dropped. Originally, you were forced to sign into BNet, which people were not happy about. I don't really get. Just sign into BNet.
Yeah, I'm sure someone, if there's actually anybody watching this, they're going to yell at us in the comments and be like, this is why that's bad. I've never really cared about that stuff.
Just, I don't know. I had to sign into Steam to play Counter-Strike.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I don't know. It's kind of silly. But anyways, so they promptly removed that feature, but the Xbox ones are kind of weird. So everybody obviously knows about Xbox One backwards compatibility, which all 3 Dooms were already on, some with extra features. There's an expansion pack added to Doom 2, and online play added to all 3, I believe, but those no longer exist. So they were on the Xbox 360 backwards compatible with the Xbox One, and you can't access them anymore. They're completely gone. So now not only are the better versions of the game, just because more content and online play are no longer available, but the people who bought those now have to rebuy the games,
right?
Which is, I don't know, that's kind of silly, but kind of cool on this.
My big hope with that would be that people rightfully place their anger on Bethesda/id and not Microsoft.
Well, that's not Microsoft's fault.
Yeah, but something tells me people are going to be pissed off at Microsoft. Why didn't you stop this? They contractually probably can't stop that. Games can go off of any storefront at any time for any reason. So
that's the thing with digital games. You kind of don't own them.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a license to play said game, but I don't know. It's a whole thing. Relevant to us, Overwatch and Blizzard announced a new 222 competitive role queue, which is kind of interesting. I don't know. People are kind of mad about it. People are kind of happy about it. Depends who you ask. I think it's a good thing because, I don't know, competitive is kind of a cesspool, and I don't like it anyways. But whenever you do play, it sucks to have like 6 insta-lock DPS players and you're like the one healer and a single tank. Don't ask, that adds up to 8 total players on one team.
Dude, that's how Overwatch works, right?
So I don't know. It's just a good thing, a bad thing. I don't know.
Do you know, is it also in casual or is it just in competitive?
Right now it's just in the PTR. Okay. But I think it'll just be competitive. That would be crazy for quick play. On the one hand, I see... Sorry.
Well, me and you were having this debate the other day, and I agree with you that I see that it's a good thing, but at the same time, my fondest memories of Overwatch are from a time before you played Overwatch, where you could do crazy shit, like have 6 bastions out of nowhere. And I miss those days, and I miss when, like, pro teams, like, when they'd be losing, and they'd just, like... They'd be like, fuck it, we're losing anyway. We're all soldiers now. Like, that was a thing, and it was a lot of fun. And I miss that, like, fun aspect of Overwatch.
I was literally about to touch on that. So, like, one of the most interesting things is, like, being a flex player who can play all 3 roles, or just, like, in high-level competitive, like Overwatch League and stuff. Those teams can do literally anything they want. So they could, I don't know, like 3 DPS, 1 healer, 2 whatever, you know what I mean? Like that kept Overwatch interesting, but now it's always going to be 2-2-2. And I think a little bit of a conspiracy theory here, but Jeff Kaplan is known to have hated GOATs, which was 3 tank, 3 healer, 1 deep, 3 tank, 3 healer, right? I don't remember
something
what
like that
setup was, but Jeff Kaplan was always known to kind of hate that and always be trying to nerf it with like Reaper buffs and stuff. So,
right.
Yeah, but also a new character, Sigma, the astrophysicist, who's trying to unlock the secrets of the universe, and currently only in the PTR. I haven't actually gotten a chance to play him because the PTR takes literally forever to download on my computer. I'll be happy to try him out when he comes to Overwatch as a whole.
Ash pretty good. Went from the PTR to like the main game really quickly. I will be surprised if Sigma's not here within a week or 2.
Right, of course. And that'll be the next big update, right? We'll get it announced before.
Right.
And then it'll come. So anything else? What do you got before our little roundup here?
You know, I don't know that I've got anything else. I think we've pretty well touched on most of the things we had in our list here. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yep.
I wasn't supposed to acknowledge that you did that, but you just highlighted something in the doc. So I don't know if anyone remembers Halo 5, but when it came out, there was a crazy ARG that they did with like, it was like a spy espionage thriller. Like it was a whole crazy thing with like audio logs and like hidden codes and all sorts of shit like that. Well, somebody in the Halo Infinite trailer, the one from E3, they found that if they pieced together some lines that flashed on the screen,
it took them like 2 months to find this.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put up the trailer right now. But I mean, you wouldn't. How many people think to like go through a trailer frame by frame, pick out all the lines that flash, and turn them into a QR code? How many people think to do that, Donnie?
That's fair. Well, clearly somebody did.
But they did, and it revealed a 40-second recording of Cortana talking a bit crazy. And I really hope that this is the start of like another crazy ARG. Say what you will about Halo 5. The marketing behind Halo 5 was top notch. The marketing was on point, especially with all their like super crazy like fan servicey ARG shit. Like, I'm all on board for that a second time around if that's what's happening. But yeah, that's about all I got on that. It wasn't super interesting. I just want people to keep their eyes out, keep your eyes peeled.
But it sounds like you're kind of excited.
It's because I love Halo.
Maybe this podcast is a part of the Halo ARG. Hello?
Sorry, I was just dramatically changing camera angles.
I couldn't tell if I'd...
Nah, I'm having fun with this new setup.
So
yeah,
the thing, the last one.
So, do we want to start with just the controversy that was the initial controversy, or do we want to dive straight into the Instagram thing? What do we?
So, while we are on hiatus, popular internet celebrity,
our Lord
Instagram
and Savior,
thought,
Whoa,
Patreon. Instagram person, woman, girl that I respect, um, sold her bathwater, and of course, we are talking about Belle Delphine, from I don't know where I was going with that, from Instagram. Belle Delphine, yeah. So she has if you somehow haven't heard of or don't know who Belle Delphine is, she is I think she started on Instagram actually. Is she on Twitch?
She's on Twitch and stuff.
Okay. She has a Patreon. That's like her big thing. But she's she's a pretty girl that sells her personality, I guess, on the internet. And for Patreon, you pay her X amount of dollars per month, and you get her Snapchat, or you get to pretend to be her boyfriend, or you get whatever, right? And she makes
not incredibly unusual. Like, it's just the usual hustle.
She's an e-girl, dude. Whatever.
Right.
So, but as not as normal e-girl behavior, she decided to sell some gamer girl bathwater, $30 and the internet blew up.
And boy, oh boy, would you believe we've got a bottle. Donnie, will you please reach over and grab the bottle purchased by the HitPoint?
You got this Wonder Woman cup.
That'll work. We didn't actually buy some. I kind of wish we would have, but
I don't.
I loved like the memes that came out like the week after that, where it was like, man suing Belle Delphine for getting herpes after drinking her bathwater.
Yeah, pretty good. I saw those too. So she sold her bathwater and became even more popular than she ever was. And eventually it all culminated. So a couple days before she started doing, I don't even know if it was a couple days before the end of this story, but she started a countdown on Twitter. She just started 5, 4, like tweeting numbers.
I somehow missed this whole thing. Please enlighten me.
Oh, I'm in the middle of it. So she starts tweeting a countdown, and it starts at whatever fucking number, it doesn't matter. And then she gets to 3, and Instagram so here's what I think happened. Here's my take on the situation. She got too popular and had both. I mean, she had good publicity. Obviously, somebody loves her. They're fucking buying her bathwater. But she also got a fair amount of negative publicity. So I think Instagram just saw that, and they tried to make an example out of it, because she's like not nude, but as nude as you possibly can be on Instagram. You know what I mean?
Right.
So she's cosplaying. She's like literally just her nipples covered. You know, like she's not naked, but she might as well have been naked. So
what I will say is, like, for me personally, who gives a shit? But that is like Instagram, private platform. They can do whatever the fuck they want if they decide they don't want you showing.
So
sort of stuff.
They banned her. Belle Delphine got banned from Instagram, which is a crazy move in my opinion. I don't know. I think she just got too popular, too much publicity, too much pressure on Instagram, and they just dealt with it. I guess they just banned her. And it seems semi-permanent. So where I was going with that countdown, though, she was doing the countdown. She got to 3. She got banned from Instagram, and she hasn't been active any social media since. Her whole persona is like Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. She got banned from Instagram. She hasn't been active on anything since, and it's kind of nuts. Like, this young girl, her career's obviously not over. Her Patreon's still going. People are still donating to her, but yeah. I don't know. Like, her whole thing on Instagram is just gone.
So I'm trying to find her Twitter right now. Oh, okay, found it. All right, let's see here. Yeah, she just straight up has not been active for.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
That's crazy, dude. Also, I like how her banner on Twitter is like her in lingerie, her in a bikini, and then 2 in between that are just like topless, blurred. All right, you do you.
What's her actual Twitter?
At Bunny Delphine. But yeah, crazy shit.
No, she got banned. Instagram, kind of crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what I really think about that. I don't hold anything against anybody hustling on the internet. Like,
no, man.
To quote my favorite YouTuber, you got to advertise like a shameless whore to make it on the internet. So like,
yeah, I mean, she is a conventionally attractive woman on the internet. She clearly has some sort of sense of humor. I mean, she hung out with a dead octopus for a day and sold her bathwater on the internet. She's obviously not stupid. She's smart in the business sense. And I don't know, she's making it work. She's making it happen for herself. I don't care what she does. I am not a fan of hers, but whatever.
It's just a weird phenomenon.
Yep. No, she's an e-girl, and she can do whatever the heck she wants. I think it's kind of crazy of Instagram to ban her.
Yeah.
I also think it's crazy that people paid her $30 for.
I don't know that that's that crazy, dude. Like, it's crazy, but like, I feel like 99% of people were just doing it for the memes. And for the memes, I can see it. Like, for the memes, I wish I had a container of it sitting right here on my shelf.
Well, did you see, H3H3 and the podcast?
Yeah. I'm familiar with
Did you see what they received?
No, what did they receive?
So they were they were talking on their last podcast about this whole, the exact same thing that we're rehashing right now.
Right, of
and
course.
They were talking, he said, she obviously has a sense of, she follows him on Twitter. He's one of the like 5 people she follows on Twitter, PewDiePie. And he was like, she obviously has a sense of humor. She follows Ethan Klein on Twitter, right? So he was like, I would love to have her on the podcast. Let's make that happen. However, she lives in the UK, so he realized he can't actually really make that. I mean, he's probably got millions of dollars. He could make that happen if he wanted. But he decided, whatever. He just, he's like, I want some bathwater. Belle Delphine actually sent him a package before she got banned and sad and everything. But I sent him a package with a mysterious liquid in a jar and a video, and the video is her spitting and drooling into this jar that she sent them for a good 10-15 minutes, and it's a whole thing. Anyway, she sent Ethan Klein some gamer girl drool and a haiku and a video. It's pretty good. But I think we're about
I was gonna say I'm done with the internet after that. I'm done. I quit. I give up.
Except we're probably going to go play Counter-Strike, but...
Probably.
And some 14-year-old is going to say the N-word.
Probably. Thank you guys for watching. Again, sorry about the editing on this one.
You just cut out like mad.
Oh. Well, on mine, I'll be fine, actually, because of the way this is recorded. But, sorry if the editing's a little bit weird. We're probably going to give this at least a couple weeks try, and hopefully I get used to switching between the camera angles and whatnot, and hopefully we can make it as seamless as possible. But this way should help us get other content out, because limited time, the podcast does take a long time to edit. So we're hoping this will kind of make that a little bit easier. It should also make it so we get this out every week. HitPoint Weekly hopefully this should help with that.
That's a big promise, my friend.
But yeah, if so, bear with us. Let us know what you thought of the new format in the comments below. Hopefully it's not too jarring. And we will be back next week with Donnie. What are we coming back with next week?
That will be Wednesday. At least should be
Humble Monthly.
Monthly. Yeah, that's the one. Humble First Impressions with Kingdom Come Delivered and Surviving Mars, I believe.
We'll find out the rest of the games tomorrow.
Friday. So that should be pretty good. And stay tuned for that. Hopefully another podcast, maybe some new exciting content coming up.
Really want to have the first episode of this new content coming out next week along with this stuff. So I've got most of the script done.
As always, if you've made it this far, I appreciate you, and we will catch you next week.